Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ray Tampa Podcast. Our podcast is new, our podcast is bold, and truth is our guiding principle. But political correctness is out the door. We will tell it like it is. We're very fortunate to have in our studio today two very talented and intelligent co-hosts, Russell Cato and Jamie Wilson III. Today, we're going to tackle the subject of our governor and the thought that he is on a mission from God. Wow. What I'm going to do is read an article I wrote. After reading the article, my co-host and I are going to engage in a very lively discussion about the article. Here's the title. Ron Desantis, believe me, you are not on a mission from God. You are not on a mission from God. Here's the article. On a segment of MSNBC on Monday night, August the 22nd, 2022, it was reported that, quote, Ron DeSantis said he's on a mission from God, ... end of quote. Wow, wow, wow. Now, this is funny, but more than funny, it's sad. It's scary, and it is evidence that our governor may not be well. All of his behaviors are contrary to what we believe our God would like to see in people who have been assigned to carry out his missions. Ron DeSantis's behaviors are much more aligned to what we expect of those touched by the devil. Reportedly, Ron DeSantis suggested at a rally for the Republican candidate for governor of Pennsylvania, Doug Mastriano, that, quote, we need to put on the armor of God and fight, ... end of quote. Now, this is an oxymoron in that DeSantis said people should put on God's armor to do the devil's work, stumping for a mean-spirited liar who rivals the lying of the master liar, Donald Trump, has to be the work of the devil. Besides, DeSantis carried the devil on his back to Arizona and Ohio, thinking that he could boost the campaigns of two other deeply flawed, election-denying Republican candidates, Kari Lake, gubernatorial candidate, and J.D. Vance, Senate candidate, respectively. Seriously, do any of you think God would tap for a mission someone who patterns his life after that of a serial liar, bully, sexual abuser, pathetic racist, con man extraordinary, and master grifter? Do you think God would do that to us? Oh, I almost forgot. DeSantis's idol, the con man, also thought of himself as being on a mission from God. The con man had a religious group or a group of religious fanatics lay hands on him and offer prayers, thereby making him believe that he is, quote, the chosen one. Funny, funny, funny. I've been told that God is good all the time. That being said, why would Ron DeSantis pretend that God took some days off in order to allow him time to do the following devilish things? Number one, govern as though the only people living in Florida are fascist wannabes racist bigots, phony religious zealots, white nationalists, and the lax, his friends. Number 2, abusively suspend the highly qualified, twice duly elected Hillsborough County District Attorney and offer a bunch of lies about the gentleman. He ignored the will of the voters and appointed a right-wing political hack to fill the seat. Number 3, abusively suspend 4 Broward County School Board members. These board members were duly elected in their heavily Democratic-leaning county, only to have the governor cancel the wishes of the voters and appoint his friends, one of which is the former GOP chair of Broward County. Number 4, scold a group of students for exercising their right to wear masks while standing behind him. Number 5, force LGBTQ teachers and other state employees back into the closet because of his sheer meanness. Number 6, frustrate teachers with his unprecedented interference in the public schools by telling them what to teach and what not to teach. Number 7, disallow corporate businesses from establishing policies and procedures for their private businesses. Remember his fight against the cruise lines? Remember his law telling corporations they could not have racial diversification workshops and policies? Number 8, design racist strategies to arrest minorities for blocking traffic while protesting, unless the protesters were part of his base of support. Number 9, mandate that one demographic of students be told that their history is not important, while telling another group that their history is very important. Number 10, create an elections police department that would go out and arrest 20 people and charge them for illegally voting, despite these people being given voter ID cards and being told that they're eligible to vote. Nothing more than a publicity stunt. True enough, there are many more instances that would suggest the devil was hard at work. The fact that Desantis would invoke the word God into the work he is doing is side-cracking funny, while at the same time enormously dangerous and pathetic. Ron DeSantis needs to man up and tell the truth by simply saying, quote, "The devil made me do it." End of quote. Thank you. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. Who would like to go first? All right, Jay.
Well, his statement, putting on the armor of God and fighting basically the left, that's been causing a lot of backlash, or a lot of people talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of twists the biblical verses to fit whatever his political message is. He twisted it because basically it goes like this, and I'm gonna quote this. This is Paul's letter to Ephesians. It says, "Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realm. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. So he basically, if that's what he's looking at, we're the devil, Democrats.
Well, Jay, I'm glad you found that verse. I really am. You just enlightened me to the point that's where he got that armor of God.
Right.
But that's the devil saying that I'm going to fight the devils, you know,
Basically,
because
we're
he
the devils,
is the
right.
devil.
Right.
And Russ, what you have to say there?
Well, first of all, you got to look at how people interpret Christianity. If you go back to slavery, the ones that owned the slave, the masters, they did the same thing. They held these people in bondage, but they were able to take the Bible and use it to their perfection, that it was in the name of Christianity. They haven't changed. You know what, Ray, when I go back and look at that term MAGNA that Trump produced, Make America Great Again, you really got to look into that thing, man. What it really means, MAGNA means you bending democracy. That's what they're doing. They're bending democracy at the highest point. And what I can say about Governor Desantis, he's learning from Trump. He's really learning from Trump. You remember when they had Trump to move somewhere, he took the Bible and held it up. You remember that picture? That's what he's doing. He's doing the same thing. You see, not Trump, but DeSantis wants to be called empirical governor. He want to be a cane governor. That's what he wants to be. So what he tried to do, go back to some of your reading, he want to control everything. See, the system of check and balance it's gone. It's out the door.
No such thing.
There ain't no such thing. Look what he did. He just fired the elected official without any saying thing, like you said. He moved people around because and if you look at the Constitution, that's what they're trying to destroy. They're trying to get the we out of the Constitution and put the I in the Constitution.
Oh, well, that's it.
That's what he's doing. I can do that. But they got to bend it in a way that they can make white Christian people, we okay with it. That's what they're doing. Yeah. I like the word that you use, hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Well, you know, all of the illustrations that I pointed out are mean-spirited, devilish illustrations. And as I indicated, there's so many more that can be utilized. But I want to harp on this one in particular right now. And it's a recent illustration of the devil at work. Now, Ron DeSantis used the cover of a grand jury indictment to suspend 4 Democrats from the Broward County School Board and replace them with 4 Republicans. That is horrible. What he's saying is, voters, I don't care. Like you said, Russ, the we is not important. Ron DeSantis effectively is saying, I don't care that you voted for this person or that person. What I care about is, are the people on this school board in my camp or not? What are we going to do about it? What can we do about it?
Anybody that opposes him, he gets rid of them, and he strengthens base by putting his allies in those spots. And
all
he's
over
going to
the
continue
state.
to do that.
All over the state.
That's the strategy.
And when I mentioned in our last podcast that he's damaging our school system for years to come, that's the strategy.
That's the strategy.
That's the strategy. For years to come, let's put our people, our programs in place.
Our programs to erase a history.
That's what he's doing.
Well,
that's what he's doing.
I want to go to another one here in terms of the abuses and talk about the corporate businesses. Now, these are private businesses. Disney World, that's a private business.
Yeah.
Right.
The cruise lines, Norwegian, private businesses, and other private businesses and corporations in this state. He's dictating to them.
Yes.
You're a private business, but you're in my state. Being that you're in my state, I don't want you holding these workshops on diversification or race equity. I don't want them. And if you do them, we have a law in place to punish you. It does not make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
We don't have in Florida the ability to recall a governor, such as what they tried to do out in California for Devin Newsom. They had to vote to allow him to stay in office.
Exactly.
However, November 8th is going to be our recall date. If enough citizens understand the ridiculousness, the stupidity, the mean-spiritedness of the devil, and vote him out.
Yeah.
Very nice.
They have a, you still going?
No, go ahead,
Okay.
Jay.
There's been a poll between him and Charlie Chris, according to the Village Newsweek, village.com. So right now, Charlie Chris, it's a small margin. Charlie Chris is ahead 48 to 46%.
Wait. What's the name of that poll?
No, I got this information from the villagenews.com, but they did a local poll.
Okay.
So right now, Charlie Chris is 48% and he's 46. As far as the national poll of favored and unfavored, he's 38% is an unfavored, and Charlie Chris is 34%.
Yeah. Let me say this, and I can understand where that poll is coming from. If you go back and look at when Gilliam ran against him, Gilliam only lost about 30,000 votes. You got to go back and look at that very critically. And what is happening with Desantis and Marco Rubio too, they know that they got to get these Cuban voters. They know they got to get these Cuban voters behind them. Now, what has happened, if you know who's running for lieutenant governor, you got a Latino who is Democrat, if you watch. See, the whole point, Ray, is how much money now? And I think Charlie Chris has a good chance of winning this if we get behind him. I really do. But I think we have to understand, are the Democrats willing to put a lot of money into this now? See, they put a lot of money into Gilliam. They did. Yeah. They put a lot of money into Gilliam.
And it came in late.
Yeah, it came in late.
But he did get it.
Exactly. So they got to say, do I want to put this money into Florida now? And I think they're going to have to, right?
Yes.
They're going to have to.
Yeah.
Because the way this guy is doing things, to win the governor, he's doing a national platform. That's what he's doing. He's taking a national platform in order to win governor. But he can be defeated, I believe, right? I really do.
Well, Russ, you're saying what I've been saying to people all the time. Just yesterday, a very close friend of mine, I had to say to her, you know, I regret hearing you say that, because she said that she doubts that Charlie Chris can win. And I said to her, no way, I hate to hear you say that, because he has a great chance of winning. Right. Desantis has a $120 million war chest. Right. He has lots of money. But there have been billionaires who have lost political races. Ross Perot and Bloomberg, all these guys, plenty of money, and they lost. On the flip side, Ron DeSantis is appealing to extremists in our state.
Exactly.
And the extremists in our state are in the minority.
Exactly.
It's a big minority, but they're in the minority. So Charlie Chris has a great chance of winning. And I just dismiss people saying otherwise.
And that doesn't mean that he already has the Cuban community, because who's that lady in Miami? She's a very outspoken Latina. She is like, she don't play, and she's anti-Trump and anti-DeSantis.
Anna Navarro.
Yes, she don't.
Anna
play.
Navarro.
So she has a following.
She's good.
So you can't necessarily think that all the Cubans are going to run
Truly.
with him because they're Cubans, because she leads them away from that. She has a very
Right.
big following.
You're right.
And she's smart.
She's very smart and
She's a-
outspoken. I like her.
She's a very good strategist
Yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
Let's look at this one where
And she's Republican, but
True.
she's still anti-Trump.
She's good.
where that elections police department that Desantis created went out and arrested 20 people. And he went to the microphones, as he always does, as a publicity stunt,
Mhm.
to talk about these people violating the law. Now they must pay the price.
They must pay.
They must pay the price. Now, if you look at the fact that 14 million plus people voted in Florida, 14 million, and they found 20 possible violations,
Hmm.
he should be run out of the state behind that stupidity.
All right.
All the money spent on that department. I think someone analyzed the situation and broke it down to say that each of those arrests, those 20 arrests, cost $287,000 each. $287,000 each when you break it down in terms of the money spent on this department.
Yeah. But
Ron DeSantis is trouble. He's the devil.
Yeah, he is.
I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it loud. He's the devil.
You know, Ray, that people don't understand how that department was created. That department was created through the excess money that he didn't spend through the COVID-19 thing, federal money. That's how the department was created. These cops that he got, that's federal dollars that he did not spend during the
Yes.
COVID thing. That's how he got this department.
Yes. Well, see, I'm going to give it to him in the sense of he
Yeah.
took all of this federal money
Yes, he did.
and used it for his political
That's what he
fortunes.
did. That's right.
All of it.
That's
Yeah.
illegal.
The- well, it's not illegal because the federal
not.
government didn't tie restrictions enough
Exactly.
Okay.
on that money.
That's right.
They just sent the money to the state and gave the state the opportunity to do what they wanted to do with the money. Ron DeSantis took a lot of that money and
Yes.
gave raises to the firemen and the police officers. And he said he was going to raise the pay for teachers.
Yeah, sure.
And,
Yeah, he hasn't
and
done-
it
we
hasn't
talked
done.
about that.
Yeah,
And he
He's only
hasn't
done
done.
30%. I mean, 31 out of the 60-something counties.
And after he gave the firemen and the police officers $1,000 bonus, he came back later on and gave them another
He gave him
$1,000
another one.
bonus.
He gave him another one.
He is buying support.
That's what he's doing.
People can see through this. The man is a crook. He's the devil.
Yes, he is.
The devil made him do it. The devil made him do it. To heck with that God's armor. To heck with that I'm on a mission from God. No, Ron, tell the truth.
Well, it's like Jamie read it from Paul. If you really read it, he's just taking it out of proportion, man.
Yes, he is.
He said you put on the full armor garment to cover evenness in your system.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
Mhm.
But
Mhm. Yeah.
I man, Jay, I'm glad you found that verse
that's a
and
good article.
brought it to our
Yeah.
attention. That was great.
Yeah, that was my preaching debut.
But that was a good one. That was a
Okay.
good one.
All
Taking it out
right,
of
well,
context.
Well, keep it going, keep it going. But let's go back to the fact that the pension money for teachers and other state employees, this man is so scary. He's messing with our pension funds.
Now, that is scary.
Yes.
He's messing with our pension
That will
funds
make folks.
only because he claims that the people who are managing our pension funds are in support of climate change concerns.
See, that's tick for tack. If you don't do, he's a bully. If you don't do what he wants, he's gonna come after you. That's tick for tack.
That's right.
The only way he can do this, is he got a legislature that is
That's what he's doing.
a rubber stamp legislature.
That's what he's
They
doing.
give him the authority to do all of this ridiculousness, not knowing that they're complicit in his wrongdoing. So from my vantage point, our legislature is full of devils too.
Truly. Truly.
Yeah.
full of devils too,
Like-minded.
like-minded devils.
Mhm.
He has taken a good run from Trump in controlling the governmental system.
Yeah.
If you look at the Supreme Court in the state of Florida, the last appointment has been made by Desantis. Same thing. He's
Yeah.
following the strict pattern.
Yeah,
He's trying to.
He's following that strict pattern what Trump set out in the federal government. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, going back to no checks and balances at this time.
He's doing that.
He got the legislature following suit. And he knows when these things are challenged in the courts, he got the courts behind him.
Yeah, yeah,
Because so many of these judges were appointed by him.
Right.
that's right.
And yeah, same thing on the national
That's-
level.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I have
Yeah.
faith. I have faith in the voters.
You got to vote.
I have faith in the voters that in this state,
Yeah, you got to vote.
people realize that we cannot have another 4 years
No,
of a maniac.
that's true.
I think with the people, what's hurting him more and why Charlie Crist stands a pretty good chance. He's too Trump-like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and that's it. But think about it. People, you know, they went through a lot with Trump and his antics and all that. And this guy's doing the same thing.
Sure.
And he's thinking it's going to help him. Like being like Trump, being boastful, out causing problems. People, they were tired of Trump. And here comes another
Right.
one just like it.
What they're saying about DeSantis is he doesn't carry the baggage of Trump.
Right.
He's smarter than Trump.
Which he is.
Therefore, he's
He's-
more
he
is.
attractive
He is.
as a candidate
Truly
than
is.
Trump.
He
Right.
is.
But being smarter than Trump isn't saying much.
It's not a good thing.
It's not
Still doing
saying
more of
much,
the
and it's
same.
not a good thing.
Right, he's still doing more of the same that was frustrated people in the beginning for Trump to be out.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
That's why I say if you look at, not cutting you off, Jim, that's why I say if you look at what he's doing to become the governor again, he's taking our national platform and putting it into Florida. That's what
Right.
same thing. Same
All
thing.
eyes on Florida.
All eyes, same
on
thing.
Florida.
He hadn't changed nothing.
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Big
Well,
loud.
He
Wow.
he feels, and a number of other people around the country feel that he's done a good job. He feels, and a number of others
Mhm.
feel that he's done a good job in Florida. But we all need to stay focused on the
Yeah.
fact that the people that feel that way are part of the extremist group.
That's right.
Correct.
That's right.
The people that feel that way.
Yeah.
That's why I said on our last podcast that these people don't care about us
Mhm.
saying what we say
Right.
about them. They don't care. They don't care that we say he's damaging the schools. They don't care that we say he's mean-spirited. They don't care
Mhm.
because when they're talking to their base and their base only, nothing else matters.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, there's a young
Exactly.
gentleman who was just, he's about 25 years old. He went to Marjorie Taylor Douglas, not Marjorie Taylor, but
Green.
Marjorie Stoneman High School, the one that was
Oh,
shot
yeah,
up.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a part of that student body. He's 25 years old now, but he just won his primary
Mhm.
Okay.
to go to Congress. He'll be the youngest congressman
Wow.
ever elected,
Beautiful.
25 years old.
Beautiful.
He
Beautiful.
has a heck of a message, but he was at a rally for Ron DeSantis,
Mhm.
and he was pushing his message on Ron DeSantis about doing something about the gun violence in our state.
Mhm.
Ron DeSantis, protect the kids. Ron DeSantis, we need some help. Ron DeSantis. Know what Ron DeSantis said to this guy?
Hmm.
Be quiet. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody cares what you say.
Oh, that's
Obviously, somebody cared. They elected this guy
very
in that
good. Very
election.
good.
But
That's stupid.
oh man,
But Ray, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not knocking the churches for it, but
Right.
my concern right now, this is where these black churches come important to me now. On a Sunday, you got the largest segregated population,
Captive
capital of black people.
Mhm.
I don't care how you look at it. You got to mention every Sunday about this.
Mhm.
You cannot stand in church and allow these people to go out and not thinking,
Right.
look who's running for governor.
Right.
You got to mention this.
Got to talk about
You
it.
got to talk about it.
And not just when they come to your church to
Yes.
speak and campaign.
You gotta talk
gotta
about
talk
it.
about it
Yeah,
because it affects.
I'm not going to name
No,
them
I'm
at
not
this
either.
point, but
That's
there are
good.
some pastors that have large congregations.
Yes, yes.
But they have never, as far as I'm concerned, and all of you know, I'm out there, I'm active. I know what's going on. They have never taken to the streets
No,
to support
No.
issues
no.
in our community.
Yeah, that affects their flock.
That's the
They
point.
need to step out.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But then we do have a couple
Some
of
money there.
pastors, and these are the pastors I will call out names, such as Clarence Williams. I love Clarence Williams.
Clarence Williams is a good one.
I love Pastor Sykes.
Yeah.
They don't mind stepping out there and saying and doing what needs to be done. But
You see, Ray, I fell out with a politician that has lost some election here. That's why I fell out with him. Because when my argument was him, he was telling me, well, Cato, you got to understand that the separation between church and state, and the churches lose money. Come on, man. Come on, man. You mean to tell me it's a money thing now? Yeah. That's why I lost with him.
yeah,
You know, yeah.
but obviously, the white evangelicals,
They
and the
do
white
it.
nationalists, they don't
do it.
recognize
No,
the separation of
they
church and
don't.
state.
They don't have that.
They raise money
They
for the
don't.
political
Telling you.
right.
They write bills.
They do any and everything they can.
That's right.
Remember, I mentioned on a podcast previously that there was a guy, a pastor, nationalist, who stood in front of his congregation and he was screaming. If you're a Democrat, I don't want you in here. Listen, guys, we have fun when we get
I
into these
love it,
discussions.
man.
We have plenty of fun, and I do appreciate the two of you.
I love it.
But as I've always said, time goes
It's
by
time.
fast when you're having fun. Being that the case, I want to thank my two co-hosts, Jamie Wilson III and Russell Cato, for a lively discussion. And I want to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in to 99.1 FM, The Bird, and ask that you do so each and every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m., and listen to our podcast here. Or go to YouTube, and type in the Ray Tampa Podcast, and you'll get it all. Thanks and good night.